Welcome, everyone, to the Outtakes Movie Podcast. We're on a quest to go through every movie of all time and rank them best to worst objectively. We're here every single Sunday, and I want to welcome back to the show, as always, Amelia.
Hello.
Jacob.
I had a really bad time just having a sip of that, but hey, I'm
Nice. Joe.
What's happening?
And you know what, guys? I've watched a lot of DC stuff, right? I've seen all the Batmans, the Dark Knights. I've seen The Brave and the Bold. I've seen Justice League. I've seen lots of stuff with Batman in. You could actually say that I've been watching Batman forever.
Oh,
Joe.
Oh man.
Take us through Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. So you guys are in for a treat. I have got some juicy facts about this film. So, the reason I originally picked this film is because I was thinking, obviously that new Joker film's coming out, isn't it? So I was thinking, I want to do a Batman film. Yeah, I could go really good, Tim Burton in '89. You got your Jack Nicholsons and you've got your Michael Keatons. You've got your Danny Elfman music. But I was like, no, that's a good one. What about go the other way? And we give you some Batman and Robin. You've got some ice puns, some poisonous kisses and things. But I was like, you know what? There's a weird middle ground where it's bad, but it tries to be good, but it also tries to not be good too much, and that's Batman Forever. So I thought, you know what? Let's start with that. So I want to start with, who had seen this film before watching it this week?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Only the once, I think.
So everyone's seen it before, yeah?
Yeah.
Even if it's just once, yeah. Right, so I want to go around, starting with Amelia, I want to go around with everyone, just kind of give me a brief overview of what you thought. Obviously, at the end, we say what our opinions are of the film, so don't go into too much detail, but just kind of a general kind of what you thought of the film. Go on, Amelia.
So I'm not going to lie, rewatching this back, I didn't realise that I thought Batman and Robin in this film were one film, because I watched it as a kid. I thought they were just the same film, don't ask why. But oh my god, how do you describe this film? It's all over the place, I'm not going to lie. I'm sure we'll get into it later, so I won't go too in depth, but it's a mind fuck, I'm not going to lie.
Right, go on, Jacob.
So when I watched it the first time, I must have been little, young, I don't even know. It was just, I'm pretty sure I watched it on VHS that long ago.
Wow.
Watching it, I was like, oh look, there's Batman, I know who Batman is. And that's Robin, I know who Robin is. And the rest, I was like, oh, these are just bright colours and noises and jokes, and this, I love this is the best. Rewatching it, ooh. But I guess we'll get onto that a little later on.
Right, go on, Sam.
So yeah, I'd seen it as a kid for amount of times. I assume it was just one of those ITV2 movies, the ones that are just on all year.
Yeah.
And the thing is I do know that I watched it at a very young age, because it's weird how when you're young, certain things can have a bigger effect on you. Like, for example, not to spoil anything, soz, but in the movie, Two-Face and the Riddler destroy the Batcave, and that was a really intense moment for me. As a child, I was like, oh my god, how are they possibly going to come back from this one? Watching it now, I love this movie. I am attuned to its particular level of stupidity, and I adore this film.
Right, so the reason I picked this film is because it's very special to me. So this film is actually the earliest memory of Batman anything that I have. When I think of my earliest Batman memory, this film is it, and some of the scenes from it. It's thanks to my parents having this on video that Batman is my favourite fictional character of any medium. So yeah.
It's a Batnip.
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Yeah, stuck with me. You know what I mean? But no, honestly, yeah, this film is kind of a guilty pleasure. I love it purely because of the nostalgia. So, like I was saying to Sam the other day, I hadn't seen it in a good couple of years, but when I was rewatching it, I could like say I was still able to say the lines as they was happening. You know what I mean? Like I still had them in my head. Like the bit at the beginning where he's in the helicopter and he jumps out and he's like, "Have the good sense to die," and he like jumps out. He's like, "See ya." I loved it. I was saying it as I was going. I was like, "Yes." It's crazy how these like terrible lines of dialogue have like stuck in the back of my head. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm going to split the video into two sections mainly. So obviously we're going to talk about the film, but first I want to actually talk about what Tim Burton wanted to do with this film before it was given to Joel Schumacher, because he did actually have some ideas on how he was going to do it. So for anyone who doesn't know, here and in the audience, Tim Burton made two Batman films, both of which starring Michael Keaton as Batman. Common knowledge to most Batman fans. There was Batman '89, which was with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and then Batman Returns in '92 with our boy Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. And then he was going to make a third film. So, does anyone know the main reason he decided not to go with Tim Burton? Well, not the main reason, but a big reason. Does anyone know?
I've heard stuff. I heard
Go on,
it was
what have you
something to do with it was quite dark for Batman, and they weren't able to sell lots of toys of it. So there was something to do with how McDonald's were pushing toys in their Happy Meals of like Penguin who like bit someone's nose and was just being gross, and Catwoman who was like had needles on her fingers and stuff. So people,
Licking
and, like,
faces.
yeah. I mean,
if that's true, that explains a lot of this movie.
I heard it was mostly to do with merchandising rather than making a decent movie.
I heard it because it needed to be family friendly. We probably watched the same thing.
Possibly.
But like you say, it explains why it's so like ridiculous.
Yeah, so the main reason, well, not the main reason, but there was lots of different reasons, but my favourite reason is because of the Happy Meals. There was a very mixed response to them including Happy Meals, including like figures from this film and like promoting this film through the Happy Meals. Because a lot of people, before Batman '89 came out, a lot of people were used to just like Adam West's Batman, the family-friendly kind of it with its powers and its crashes and things like that. So when '89 came out, I think that a lot of people were kind of shocked by like how dark it was.
It's weird because
that's why they liked it.
Like Batman had been up until that, like he'd been a lot darker in the comics anyway.
Yeah,
like, so
exactly.
He'd just been trending in that direction. So like, when you look back on it historically now, you're like, oh well, yeah, of course, you would take Batman in this direction. But like at the time, I can see it being quite shocked. Like particularly Batman Returns.
Oh yeah, what are the comics which is considered kind of like it's one of Batman's most famous comics, and it came out in 1986. And you've probably heard it, the Dark Knight Returns. It's the one that's like super dark, and a lot of people consider it to be like the turning point where it becomes really dark, and so that came out like 3 years before this film. And I have a weird kind of like, I get the idea that being so dark compared to what people are expecting is what kind of influenced Tim Burton to take it in this direction. And people loved this film '89 when it came out. It made I think it was like 250 million or something in the first year, which, even for now, that's a lot of money. But 89, and it didn't even come out at the beginning of the year either. It came out in like halfway through the year. But then when Batman Returns came out, like 3 years later, I feel like that novelty had like worn off a bit. So people were kind of seeing how dark these films actually were, and everyone was like, oh well, Batman's a comic book character, he's for kids, why is it so dark? And then like Jake said before, there's literally a scene in Batman Returns where he bites a guy's nose off, and the Penguin's got like black goo like dribbling out of his mouth when he's like talking, and I can imagine why he's quite scary. So people like kicked off when Madal started like pushing the film basically, and at the time, Warner Brothers actually responded to the backlash, claiming that the Happy Meals toys were actually just to promote Batman and not the film.
Right.
Even though the
Sneaky.
toys would mainly of characters from Batman Returns. You know, it was literally just Penguin, it was Batman, it was Catwoman. One of the toys was literally the Batmobile from the film. And he still tried to claim that it wasn't.
Love that.
I'm like, oh no, it wasn't. It's just this Batman, it's just Batman, it's Batman. And then, you know. So, that was kind of... Yeah, so it was mainly that Happy Meals thing that made Warner Brothers kind of want to stay over to make it more family friendly, basically, so they can sell more toys. But yeah, so Burton did actually go and have a meeting with them, and halfway through the meeting, he kind of clicked that they weren't really that interested in making a third film for his vision of third film. So I'm just gonna go into like a few ideas that he had for that. So the first is the title. Does anyone know what Batman 3 was going to be called, or what they were thinking they were going to name it?
No clue.
I do, and it's terrible.
Oh,
It
go
is
on.
terrible. So,
Go on,
do you
Jay.
know, Sam?
I don't know.
No. So, they were thinking of calling it Batman Continues.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
So
actually what they
bad.
were thinking of calling it, yeah.
That's a bit
And
nuts.
Tim Burton, he's actually said a few times, like, expressed his opinions on, like, the titles, like Batman Forever. And what he said about Batman Forever is, and this is a quote, it sounds like something someone would get as a tattoo when they're on drugs. Yeah. He also, I think,
Amazing.
yeah, he also said that it's something people write in yearbooks, or what he imagined people write in yearbooks.
I mean, it does sound like
Um,
Westlife's comeback tour, like Westlife Forever, like...
Yeah, literally.
He doesn't
I
get to have
his
that
point.
opinion though, because he was this close to calling a movie Batman Another Batman. Like,
Yeah, literally, yeah. Because, like, so I think the general consensus, I assume everyone out of between Batman Returns and Batman Forever and Batman Continues, which one does everyone prefer?
oh yeah, Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
It's
I don't mind either
definitely
of them, they're both a bit cringy.
It doesn't.
Well,
it
yeah,
doesn't-
they're both really crap.
Continues is
but
worse
the
than
title.
Forever.
it's
The title
just-
doesn't work with the movie necessarily. Like, it doesn't have any thematic tie into the movie that got produced.
Yeah.
But it is a better title.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, they're both bad, but I'd rather have Batman Forever, if I'm honest. Yeah, right. So the next thing I want to talk about with Batman Continues is obviously the casting. So Michael Keaton was going to return, and he did actually stay on as Batman after Tim Burton left, but he was obviously replaced by Val Kilmer. There's like a few different stories about why he left. There was like an insider in Warner Brothers or something claimed that he wanted like a slice of the merchandise, and there's other stories that said that he wasn't happy with how Schumacher was like taking the film. But either way, you know, he bailed on the production and he was replaced by Val Kilmer. But
Christian
the
bailed.
interesting, he did. Oh, that was a good one. That was a cracking joke.
That was on par with some of
There
my
you go.
jokes.
There you go.
Proud of you.
There.
I love that. That's like the second time in these podcasts we've told Jacob that we're proud of him. So, getting all this kind
Yes.
of praise.
He just
in
comes
the
here for
podcast, Jacob, you know
reassurance.
what I mean?
I need it,
It's okay,
please.
Jacob. Yeah, so
This is where we
There
reveal
was-
that these podcasts are actually just a group therapy session for Jacob.
Love that.
Oh, we'll just like hold up some banners behind you, say intervention.
I
Oh,
was
no.
like tilt my camera up slightly and it's just like up there somewhere. Oh man. Right. Yeah. So I think this film, it was always going to kind of have Two-Face and the Riddler in it, and Robin as well. So we'll start with the Riddler. So the role was actually originally offered to Robin Williams.
Yeah, I'd heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone know about the kind of Warner Brothers Robin Williams fiasco that went down for the 89 Batman? Does anyone
No.
know about what they did?
He was offered to the role of the Joker, wasn't he?
He was, but do you know why he was offered the role of Joker?
I feel
don't
like
know
I've
why.
heard this.
No.
I feel like I know this.
Yeah.
Is it because
Go on.
really quick, just to see if I am right? I don't think I am. Is it something to do with convincing Jack Nicholson?
Yes.
Where have I
So-
heard that? Okay, carry on.
It's kind of so. It's a really like dickish move on Warner's part. So what they did was they wanted Jack Nicholson to play the Joker, but he wasn't sure. So they offered, I think Robin Williams had expressed like an interest in the role. So Warner Brothers were like, all right, you can have the role then, but only so that Jack Nicholson would want the role. So it was literally had no intention of hiring Robin Williams. They just did it to entice Jack Nicholson.
That's
That's a
crazy.
dick
Like, oh
move.
yeah, I'll play the Joker. Like, so as you can imagine,
Dick Grayson move.
Oh,
all these puns,
Got another
man.
one. Got another one.
All these puns, oof.
Essentially, what they did
Oh, man.
is they did that bit in The Simpsons where Maggie's like playing with all her toys, but she's not playing with a ball. So they take the ball away, and now she wants the ball.
Yeah.
But
It's
like,
literally-
professionally in a movie studio.
Like that's literally what they did, and it worked as well. It actually worked. They actually managed to get him. It was like, oh my god, no way. But yeah, so I feel really bad for Robin Williams. And then I don't know I don't know if it happened again with Batman Forever. There's different. There's like a story where people think that the studio never wanted Robin Williams and fired him as soon as they fired Tim Burton. But there's an interview with Joel Schumacher where he's like, oh yeah, I offered the role to Robin Williams, and then a year passed and he's still saying he wants the role but he can't do it yet. So they had to find Jim Carrey, who was a rising star at the time. So I don't actually know what the situation
to be fair,
there is.
that if the script was anywhere near finalized around that time, the only two actors that could have pulled off that characterization of the Riddler are Jim Carrey and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
It would have ended up being
Like-
two very different performances, but that
Yeah.
script, it would only have worked with those two guys.
agreed.
Oh yeah, definitely. And interestingly enough, apparently Williams was actually interested in playing a role in the Nolan films. I don't know how true that is. That's just something I heard.
Would have been really interesting
obviously,
to see.
yeah, I don't know who he would have played, but obviously he'd actually been in two of Nolan's films before that. I can't remember what they are, but I think that might have been the reason. He was already like he'd worked with Nolan in the past, and he was like, and then unless he did afterwards, I don't know. But yeah, so the other character was Robin as well. So Tim Burton had actually intended to put Robin into Batman Returns, but he felt there was too many characters, so he saved him for the third film. But he did want and actually casted Marlon Wayans to play Robin
Who's that
in
now?
Batman
I recognise
Returns.
him.
So Marlon
I know who
Wayans
he is.
he's one of the guys from White Chicks. He's in Scary Movie, and he was in that G.I. Joe film that they did as well.
Oh,
yeah,
no, I think
you'd
I think
probably
I've got a face, I
recognise
think I know
him.
who he
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, if you saw a picture of him, you'd recognise him. So he actually got like cast for it, and they actually paid him $100,000
To do nothing,
for the role,
essentially.
and he didn't even end up being in the film. Yeah.
Nice.
So got a all right job in it.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, but those two are the two kind of like, oh yeah. The most interesting out of the three characters, though, I think, is who was going to play Two-Face.
I've heard this. I wish this
Yeah.
happened.
I know this one.
Yeah, this is the big one. Like, this is the one that I wish they'd kept, because I would love to see this. So obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, Harvey Dent does actually appear in the '89 Batman, and he is played by none other than Billy D. Williams, who, again, if you don't know,
man.
famously played Lando Calrissian in Star Wars. So, can you just imagine him as Two-Face, though? It would be so much more. It would be so different to what Tommy Lee Jones did. It would be amazing.
Fun fact is we sort of got a glimpse as to what Billy D. Williams could be as a Two-Face. And I mean, I'm guessing Joe knows.
Yes, I've got it written down.
Amelia, Sam, do you know when we might have seen this?
No.
That's embarrassing.
This is what I was saying the other day.
Hang on. I think I know.
To you,
I think
Sam?
I remember. Is it because I feel like because I was watching loads of videos about it before we started, and is it that we got it in Lego form?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so in the 2017 Lego Batman movie, Billy D. Williams plays Two-Face. Yeah.
Love it.
Which
Nice.
I think is really cool. Yeah.
It's a good film as well. Just putting that out there.
It really is, yeah.
That is a good movie.
I think
Yeah.
it's an underrated Batman film, I think. I really like that movie.
It's the best
You can
Batman
tell
movie
that
to
it
come
was-
out in the past decade.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, you can tell it's made by Batman fans as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
that's what I love about it. So is anyone... Right, yeah, so Harvey Dent's character originally was going to be in Batman Returns as well. And he was going to be the character that Christopher Walken plays in that movie.
Oh,
the
damn.
Max Shrek character. Yeah. So that was originally going to be Harvey Dent. That's what they were thinking. And then at the end, when Catwoman kisses Christopher Walken's character with that electrical wire between the lips, it was going to, like, when it was Harvey Dent, that was going to be what scarred his face. So then, in the next movie, he was going to be Two-Face. So I think that would have been, like, quite interesting. I mean, obviously, they didn't end up doing it, so I don't know how they would have done Two-Face
Do you know what?
if Tim Burton...
I
Go on.
still think Tommy Lee Jones is really good casting for Harvey Dent, just not the things they had him do in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
style.
like you know the Two-Face that's in the Arkham games?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I could imagine Tommy Lee Jones playing that version of Two-Face.
Yeah, I can as well.
Doing a
I
really
could-
good job with it.
Yeah, I can imagine him taking it really seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, it would be really good. Like, with this film, I always get the feeling that he just kind of read the script and did absolutely no research into portraying the character whatsoever.
Well,
Just went
let's
mad
be
with it.
honest, and I'm sure you have got this written down here, Joe. I think Tommy Lee Jones gave up on this movie the moment he learned he was working with Jim Carrey.
I've heard about
Oh,
this.
yes.
I've heard all about.
Oh, yes.
I know about this.
So bad. I'm sorry, but like.
What was the quote?
Okay, so Jim Carrey is going in this restaurant, and Tommy Lee Jones is eating there, and they've just found out basically that they're working with each other. So he thinks, right, I'll go out and I'll approach him. I'll say hi. So Tommy Lee Jones is eating. He looks up and he sees Jim Carrey, and he stands up and he's shaking. And he's just like, he's apparently all the colours drained from his face. He's shaking and he's just staring into the middle distance. Jim Carrey says that he likes to think that he was imagining like him killing him in that moment.
Love that.
Tommy Lee Jones leans in for a hug, and apparently while they were hugging, he says, "I hate you. I do not like you." And so Jim Carrey apparently still, to this day, still likes Tommy Lee Jones and thinks he's a good actor. Apparently Jim Carrey pulled up a chair and said, "Well, what's wrong?" Like, in an attempt to try and, like, curb favour. "What's wrong? Like, can we sort something out? What have I done?" And Tommy Lee Jones just says, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
That's what it is. Unsanctioned buffoonery.
Oh, man. I have actually got that written down, but I've read
Such
that,
an old
actually.
man. Like,
Oh, man. That is the best line.
Isn't it?
Can you imagine a real person saying that to you in real life, though?
I don't
That
know
sounds
if someone said that
scripted.
to me.
Oh, man. I'd be like... I don't even know. I honestly don't even know what I would say if someone said that to me.
I get
Like,
hurt
I would
when
probably
customers
like,
don't say hello back. I would be crushed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember, like, when we first started, I can't remember who it was. Someone said to me, like, when they don't say hi to you back, don't take it personally. And I was like, okay. First time it happened, I was like, my soul's just ripped from my body. I was like, what have I done to you? And now we're just kind of like, all right, fine, whatever. I won't say bye to you then. I mean, I do still say bye to him, but, you know. But,
Just walk out.
yeah. Yeah. Literally. Just watch him leave, like, yeah, all right, bye, yeah, see you. Yeah, I actually forgot to write that down, but yeah, I knew about that. So I kind of want to know, like, all the stuff that, like,
As soon as you
definitely,
know
like,
that,
actually-
a lot of those scenes with those two in the movie
Yeah.
get, like, just a lot more interesting. Particularly with how
Yeah.
much Jim Carrey ends up hugging Tommy Lee Jones,
yeah.
mounting
Like-
him, like...
Like that bit where he like pins him up against the wall. I want to know if that was actually scripted or not.
He's got the gun to his head. Yeah.
Yeah, just the gun he brought from home. He's like, "Oh, you Jim Carrey. I want to see if you bleed green." Yeah. Oh man. Right. So. Yeah. Right. So that's all the kind of stuff I want to talk about with Tim Burton's kind of version on it. So let's get into the actual bloody movie. Right.
Hey.
So the first scene, I have it listed in my notes as the drive-through scene.
Yeah. Batman will get drive-through.
Yeah, literally, like, it's... this is the opening of the film, right? What did everyone think about the opening of the film?
It's so montagey. I don't know how many times I can watch someone go...
There's that amazing close-up of Batman's bat dick.
Bat bulge!
I've got a question. I don't know if anyone knows this. It's just a thing I spotted. That suit... Was that suit at the start of the movie possibly used in the Burton movies? Because it didn't look like it fit Val Kilmer quite right. Like, it looked like there was a lot of room.
I know what you mean.
It had the nips, though, didn't it?
It had the nips.
Yeah.
An old bat nip.
I don't think Burton was ballsy enough to put nips on his bat suit.
No, I don't think he did.
This is true. This is true.
See, the bit for this bit, for some reason, in my head, I always thought that this scene had that kind of infamous kind of the bat butt, where it shows it like the cape falling over his, he puts his pants on, whatever.
Bat butt.
And it shows like his ass.
But that's later.
That's later in the film, and the reason I thought it was at the beginning is because I'm pretty sure that shot is at the beginning of Batman and Robin as well, and it's the two of them putting the
I think it is, yeah.
Good old bat
butt. I was watching it, I was like, where's the bat butt, man? I was expecting bat butt, where's it at? It's got like the front instead, and I was like, I don't want that. It was just, so I don't mind the opening of the film, because the music is actually, I really like the score for this film.
It's alright, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as good as Danny Elfman's for the Burton films, but this was actually done by a guy named Elliot Goldenthal, and it was actually nominated for a Grammy.
So. Oh damn, son! I mean, the score is doing a lot of work. I don't want to drop any scenes because I don't want to take anything from you later, Joe. But watching the deleted scenes that didn't have the movie attached, things that were already look silly in this movie look so much more sillier without the score.
Yeah.
Like, it's doing a lot.
I know what you mean. So originally I was going to talk about the deleted scenes at the end, but I'll go through them as we're kind of talking about the film. So the deleted scenes, interestingly enough, that the one where the doctor walks through down that corridor and they find the guy like hanging in the prison cell. I think he's hanging, or is he's like insane or something? I can't remember. But it's written on the wall, isn't it? He's written something in the wall in blood. That scene was actually going to be the opening scene, and then this original structure of the film was it was going to be that scene. Then the scene where Bruce goes to Wayne Enterprises and meets Edward Nygma. And then when he looks out the window and sees the bat signal in the sky, he was then going to go through, he's going to do that thing where the chair falls down and he slides through that pod thing. And then it was then going to lead into this scene where he goes to... so that it goes to fight Two-Face.
It's much better this way around.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Because when you if it would start that way, it would have been such a slow start. Two-Face just got out. Bruce is like, oh, I'm Bruce Wayne, and then he becomes Batman. It would have been. It's better that you see him first, I think. And the kind of the comic adaptation of this film actually has the original order to it, so it doesn't. You can kind of see how it doesn't really work that much. So did anyone actually... So you've got the film score, which is, your opening music, Batman stuff. Does anyone know or look at the soundtrack for this film?
I caught it at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
And during the credits.
So there's a bunch of songs on there that I don't remember being in the film, but yeah, they're all in the credits. The most interesting one is Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
What's that?
Yes.
I saw it on the thing and I was like, because I was doing the thing about the score and then the soundtrack came up and I was like, what? I was looking at it and So, by being in this film, this song actually reached the top of the charts in the US and Australia because it was on this soundtrack.
Wait, so
Have you seen the actual official music video for Kiss from a
Yeah.
Rose?
Yeah,
It is
like
clips from this movie
Yeah.
with Seal singing in front of the bat signal.
literally.
I didn't realise this was from this film.
How did
Yeah. Well-
How did this movie get that song to number one?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, I completely forgot that this film was in the credits. The only memory I have of this song is that scene in Always Sunny when Dee's like greeting the soldier and she's dressed as the Rose and it's like playing it in the background. And then I was like, is that the song from that scene in Always Sunny? And I was watching, I was like, oh my god, it is. This was in Batman Forever. And yeah, I was like, and
Do you know what,
I
though?
listened to it. Go on.
There is a scene that I 100% believe was supposed to have this song accompanying it that gets cut. So in the deleted scenes, Bruce has a romantic moment with a giant 9-foot-tall monster bat, and the camera's like panning
Yes.
around it in circles, and I believe Kiss from a Rose was supposed to play during that scene.
Oh, that seems about right.
Oh, it's not even CGI or anything, is it? It's just a
puppet,
massive puppet bat that
That's
Val Kilmer was
terrifying.
standing shirtless in front of it. And you could just imagine, Kiss from a Rose definitely was meant to play for that
We need to
scene.
find where that bat's ended up, and we should go and see it.
Oh my
If
god.
it's on
I
display
would-
somewhere.
Steal it.
I want to.
Adopt it.
Like, I hope Val Kilmer took it home, honestly, and just has it in his house. Just like hanging in his foyer, something, just as soon as you walk in, you're just like, alright, Val, what's going on up here, man? Oh, mate, honestly. But yeah, so that kind of came out of nowhere. So we get that, obviously, that really absolutely hilarious in exchange. The kind of say to take a sandwich, he's like, nah, I'll get drive-through, don't even worry about it. Just so the audience knows that this film, it's not as dark as Tim Burton's. Not as dark as Tim Burton's. We're cracking jokes
I think
straight
that
out
was a
the
direct
straight
reference
through
to
the door.
McDonald's as well.
Oh, man, maybe.
Honestly,
I've seen the edits, yeah.
yeah. So this is, I don't know if it was planned, but I have a feeling it was.
It's got to
So-
have been.
I was proposed question to all. So 2 questions: which restaurants drive-through do we think Batman went to, and what did he buy when he got there? So go on,
It was probably
just any guess.
McDonald's, and he got a big bat meal,
I would have said
That one.
McDonald's, and he got like a bat burger.
or
So
a
I
chicken
would've
bat
gone-
nugget.
I would have gone like Burger King and just guessed that they like McDonald's were like, no, sorry, but yeah, I'm gonna have to say McDonald's as well.
Yeah. So there is actually an answer to both of these questions. The first, yes, it is. It goes to McDonald's because McDonald's promoted this film, even though they had that terrible kind of thing with Batman Returns. They were like, don't even worry about it. We'll just do it again. And when he went to McDonald's, he bought a McDonald's superhero burger, which was a sandwich with 3 burgers on it and like your basic vegetables on all kind of between what the adverts called a hero bun.
A hero bun.
Hero.
This is an
Wow, what a
We,
bun.
we
Yeah.
saw some of his hero buns in the next film, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
hero buns.
Hero buns.
oh, I just got what you meant. Man, but like, yeah. So this is like an actual something. It's just a burger with 3 buns on it, on like one of those longer ones that they have the chicken sandwiches on. That's all it is. But this was like the meal they created to promote this film. And one of the adverts actually has clips from this scene where it's like, take sandwiches, sir? And he's like, no, I'll get drive-through. And then it's just clips of Batman driving the Batmobile from this film with a shot of a McDonald's surrounded by Gotham City. And then the superhero the superhero burger. So yeah. Oh, and there
I have
was
to find this.
collectible glass mugs as well, in case you wanted
See,
one of
I've
them.
always heard of these mugs. Whenever I hear because I watch a lot of like American YouTubers, especially like the nerdy ones, they're always like, oh, the bat glasses, oh, they're so amazing. I didn't realise it was this one, and I
Yeah,
kind of want one
this
because they're so naff.
Yeah, like
Like,
they cost like $1 or something. I think I can't even remember how much.
I'm
They
gonna
were.
get us all one for Christmas.
Yeah, like they were. Oh. Yeah, we should do it. I think there was 4. We could have one each, and that could just
Can
be
I
our
have
thing.
creepy
It's like
pumpkin?
sipping like something as well, like doing this. Like, just, oh yeah, man, yeah, Batman. Yeah, so it was like, if you gotta watch the adverts when we finish, like they're very 1995 is what I'm saying. There's a bit where it's like the advert for the glasses. It's like under the Gotham McDonald's and it goes down to like the Batcave, which is under the Gotham McDonald's apparently.
Of course it
It's
is.
just, oh man. And it's like Batman, and like, it's real, the way they do it is, because the glasses are just kind of like glasses, but with like the characters kind of like molded into them. So, in the advert, you've got like all the different characters and stuff. And you just kind of, like the one with the Riddler, he's just the Riddler, and then he like crouches down like that, and then he just becomes a glass in the frame that's on the glass. It's so weird.
Really?
Yeah, he just crouches and then Batman
We
does
need
something
them.
like that.
I'm finding them after this. I am sourcing
Oh,
some for
honestly,
Nice.
like I think the advert ends with a kind of it's the Riddler running off with some of the glasses, you know, like stealing them, but it's not Jim Carrey. It's someone who slightly sounds like Jim Carrey, and he says a line from the film, but he says it like in a weird. He says it exactly how Jim Carrey says this particular line in the film, but it doesn't quite sound or look like him. So it's kind of weird. Yeah. But there you go, McDonald's.
Why don't we have toys like that nowadays? Like Burger King have stopped selling their Happy Meal version of a toy completely. I don't know if you've seen. They are no longer selling plastic toys. And apparently, McDonald's want to do books. It might have changed by the time this is being filmed, but apparently they want to do books instead. Mugs are glasses, whatever they were, are such a good
like
idea.
glasses,
I'm
yeah.
down for that.
Like, does anyone remember, like, a couple of years ago, McDonald's did those, like, Coke glasses, and they were, like, glasses shaped as the cans.
They were so inconvenient to drink out of.
They were, but they were so cool, and I wanted all of them. And I went to my nan's the other day, and I was looking, you know, for a glass, and I was like, it does one there, and I was like, oh my god, no, you still have one of these? Because, like, we had so many of them. We had, like, all the different colours, and within a year, they were all gone because they'd all smashed. Because me and my sister had, like, broken, probably. But my nan still had an intact one. It's the first one I'd seen for, like, 3-4 years. It was crazy. Didn't think they still existed. But yeah, McDonald's should bring back the Batman mugs. That's all I'm saying. Do it, McDonald's. Right.
We're gonna pressure them into it. Tweet at them every day.
Bat on a mug.
Man.
Bulge. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh dear.
Right. So I've always wondered as well, at what point did he go to this drive-through? Like, did he go on his way to catch the dangerous criminal? So he was like, he's probably got a hostage, probably going to kill him. I'll snip to Mackey's really quick, don't even worry about it. Like, Alfred reminded me.
This Batman would, because this Batman is an absolute buffoon.
I can honestly imagine him doing it as well. Just pulling up. Just because there's not even windows, the whole top of the car just comes
the
back.
whole top has to like come off.
So he would just pull up, and the whole car would like, and he'd be like, he wouldn't even be able to turn his head. He can't turn his head, so he'd be like that.
He's staring straight forward as he asks for his order, and then the lady on the other side has to tell Batman that the ice cream machine is broken.
Literally, oh man, I can just imagine him sat there like that, just stiff, and he's like, "Oh, Batman's here. What do you want?" It'd be so weird. But then saying that, then I can then imagine him parked around the corner from where like the bank is, where Two-Face is, and him just fucking eating his Mackies through his mask, and then just finish it and being like, right, let's go catch some villains, and just jumps out of his fucking car.
I've given him enough time.
Literally, he's like, oh well, can't save everyone, I guess. You know, literally like, I can just see it happening. And then if he like, even if he then doesn't go straight, if he went to Mackey's afterwards, that's not even any better, because he's just blown up like Gotham's version of the Statue of Liberty, so, you know what I mean? So all the staff are going to be looking at him like, yeah, good job catching him. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? There's no good time for him to have gone Mackey's, but we know that he did. So.
I don't think it would have made this movie any worse either. Like,
No, it would not. He
could have just rocked up to an actual McDonald's and been the most blatant product placement, like as blatant as fucking Krispy Kreme in that Power Rangers movie was.
Oh, don't even
Pulled
know.
up, gone in, and we could have had a whole scene of him trying to choose something off the menu. Not even necessarily driving. We could have walked straight in, sat down, a full scene of him nomming down on the fucking burger with a milkshake.
I could just imagine him having to like sit like in one corner with his, and he's had to like put his cape over the booth behind him on the table so it doesn't get creased. And everyone's just looking at him like that, like, is that Batman? Is that Batman? It's like, oh no, I think it's just Val Kilmer dressed in a Batman suit or something, you know.
Like, he does that. Even to this day,
he must
go
do.
Two backies.
He must do.
Full-on Batman suit.
Oh, bless him.
I would love that, you know.
He like spills a bit of food down. Oh shit!
A bat
Literally.
nipple.
Yeah.
He goes to his utility belt. He's got like a little bat wipes. He just whips them out and just kind of like douses himself down.
Please.
Oh
Can we
man.
see this?
See, like,
I want to see this now. Can we recreate this? Like,
yeah,
can
let's do
who
it.
do we
We're
have
gonna
to
do it.
pay? Because I want to see
I
this.
don't know,
made.
Val Kilmer, I guess. McDonald's.
Tweet it.
I say
Tweet
we
it.
get Joe in a costume and we just film him sat in a Mackey's.
I'll do it. Let's do
Joe
it.
seems down.
Oh, it's Batman.
And just
got a
throw
TV.
Big Macs at him.
No, you know what you're gonna do? I'll be like, sat in the booth, and we gotta get like other people dressed as Two-Face and the Riddler on the other side, just launching Big Macs and nuggets at me. You know what I mean? And I'm just sat there drinking out of a Batman Forever glass. It's like,
Oh,
Give me 5.
my God. Right. So,
back to
we're not
the
even like 10 minutes into the film yet, you know.
We're
We're
never
still on
gonna
this
fucking
drive-through
get through this
scene.
There's so much in this scene as well, though.
Oh, man.
Like-
yeah, exactly.
Like, Two-Face has
Mate.
got a wrecking ball, a magical wrecking ball, that's
Yeah.
attached to a helicopter that he's got, that's got a steering wheel that he can lock like a car.
Don't even get me
God.
started on a fucking steering wheel. I
Oh,
was
mate,
fuming
what's-
when I saw that.
What does he steal as well? He steals it like a bank vault,
Yeah.
But does
Yeah.
he steal anything?
but it's got boiling acid in it. Oh no, it's boiling acid!
I love that bit, you know. Oh man, like honestly,
Covering
Like,
half
did
my
he-
page. Oh no, it's boiling acid.
I love that character, you know. In my notes, I've referred to him as what is it? Exposition Arnold. That's what he's referred to in my notes. No, because he's like, oh no, it's boiling acid, because you know that shot of his glasses falling in and burning didn't tell us that. And then he's like, well, he's like, that's my hearing aid. Just,
I mean, the acting's
God,
hammy
it's-
as it is, but like...
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, and like how like deep was that hearing aid in if it pops when he takes it out? Because he's just like, it's like, no wonder he's deaf. He's probably got pop every time he takes it out. But yeah, so right, I think my favorite line in this whole scene is, and this is the line I actually remembered the most. Weirdly, is that bit when you very first see Two-Face. And he like gets down over and he's like, why? And he's like, look! And he's just going on and he's just like talking loads, and like it does that pan and like reveals him. It reveals his face, and he's got like a straight line down his face, and like one half is purple and one. It's just, I remember absolutely loving that scene when I was younger.
And,
like,
and Tommy Lee Jones practically breaks his neck to get all the makeup
Yeah.
like in the frame.
Yeah, like you can just imagine real life. He's like, look, he's like, the guy's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, my face is here, man. But yeah, so the only other thing about this scene, and it's not even just a comment about the scene, it's about the whole film. I want to get everyone's opinion on what they thought of like this version of Gotham compared to like Tim Burton's version.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
It
Does
doesn't
unrendered
it doesn't
computer
make
game work?
Yeah, it looks like Reboot, the old cartoon. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
I
It looks exactly like that. Geologically, it makes no sense because there is a tunnel to the Batcave from Wayne Enterprises that's underneath Wayne Manor, which is all the way up the other side of town. There's faces sticking out of every single wall. Every single feasible wall, and if there's not a face sticking out of it, there's a face painted on it. And there's the statue of Gothibity. Which, why is that there?
There's that bit when it goes, it like has that weird CGI bit where it pans through the buildings, those massive statues and that huge, massive waterfall, and it's like, why are they there? Like, what are they there for? Like,
I mean, it's fun to look at, though, right?
Yeah.
Hollywood are cowards now. They'd never do something like this.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty creative, right? It was loads of tall towers and neon colours. And there's a bit later on where it's just during the day, just pulls up on some street and just goes into a building. It's like, what? Is he even in the same place or not? Because this is not like that dystopian looking place we saw 5 minutes ago. It was so inconsistent.
See, for this film, right, I actually really like the way the city's designed, but not in a Batman film. This particular city would be perfect in like an entirely different, like a fucking detective story on some like alien planet in the future or something, you know what I mean? But not in a Batman film.
I was getting like some like weird Bioshock vibes from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of Bioshocky in it, but the only way I can justify it to myself being in a Batman film is anyone seen recently? There's been this kind of like thing on the internet where people want there to be like a Batman Beyond film with Michael Keaton as playing Batman.
I have seen this. Yeah.
So
Gotham of the future.
Yeah, exactly. So for anyone listening who doesn't know what Batman Beyond is a TV show from the 90s, and it's like a sequel to like the Batman TV show, and it's set kind of like years in the future. Gotham's this kind of huge Blade Runner-y neon futuristic city. Batman's an old man. He's got a dog named Ace. He's not Batman anymore, and he's like a mentor to this like new Batman. So I think that I like to think of this as this version of Gotham be like slowly turning into kind of the Neo Gotham that's in Batman Beyond. So if they made a Batman Beyond film, I'd kind of like to see the city look like a mix between this, like a Blade Runner, huge, massive city, and like Tim Burton's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
So like all these kind of like neon lights and stuff, it kind of makes sense if they go on to do like a Batman Beyond set in the same universe. But that's the only way I justify the way the city looks in a Batman film, because it looks even worse in Batman and Robin. There's a bit where they drive for a massive hand in that film, so crazy stuff. So
I watched a video really quickly where apparently you've probably seen it as well, where apparently this came out around the same time as Jurassic Park, and people are saying like, why have they gone for such like a naff, like you say, like landscapes and like CGI, and when like they're making stuff like Jurassic Park at the same time, and people are a bit like
literally. Like, I think, this would have come in that with a few years, if not the same year as Jurassic Park. I can't remember when Jurassic Park came out. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like, it's insane, innit? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Where they thought that stuff like this was a good alternative to just make it, like, if they didn't want it to be darker, just make it a little less darker, you know what I mean? Just don't have people like getting their noses bit off. Don't make it like this kid kind of weird... like someone vomiting neon all over Gotham or whatever, it's like, just, I don't know. It was a massive jump. But anyway, so obviously, we go to the Wayne Enterprises and we meet Jim Curry's Edward Nigma. He's been all weird. He's got this kind of like weird blender shaped contraption. He's like, what this thing? It's I need some funding for human trials. And he's like, oh yeah, don't even worry about it. Just phone my assistant Barbara and we can set that up. Don't even worry. And he's like, no, I need an answer now. Why does he need an answer now? You know what I mean? Like, couldn't he just have the meeting?
He's a bad guy. He's supposed to be crazy.
I like how somehow this scientist was allowed to make like a brainwashing machine unchecked. Like, it works. No one thought,
it's
no one
done.
when Enterprise thought to check what project he was working on. In Wayne Enterprises, scientists are independently allowed to work on fucking whatever, and we'll check it later.
Literally. Like, because obviously later on when he tries it out, doesn't he? He tries it out on that guy. And he's...
And he's invented
kinda
3D movies.
Yeah, exactly. And he can he's get like smart through his brain waves or whatever. So does that mean that until this point, that's the first like human trial? Has he been testing this on like animals and stuff? And he's been like stealing like a fish's brain waves or something this whole time. That's what I was
Why he's so mad? Because he's just got animal brain. Like,
literally,
God,
yeah.
that's dark.
That's he's literally like a weird mix. Like it's just, and then as the film goes on, it's just pushing more and more human brain back in, and it's just that's why he goes crazy at the end because there's just a stupid mix. And that's why he thinks he's about at the end.
Full Elton
Just saying.
John.
So right. So yeah. So he's like, obviously he says like, oh, I need an answer now, and Bruce is like, yeah, no. He's like, I guess it's a no. It's too risky, too much controversy. Okay, bye everyone. Yeah, good job. Yeah, and then just leaves. He doesn't even like react to it at all, does he? He just bails straight away. And then, I mean, obviously he's seen the. Oh man, I'm gonna say bailed a few times now just to see if you like get it every single time.
Oh,
don't test him.
Come on, you know it's gonna happen.
So there is actually someone famous in this scene, and it's kind of like a Keira Knightley and Phantom Menace situation. Yeah, does anyone else know who it is? Like a famous before they were famous. Do you know Amelia?
No clue.
No.
Neither.
So in this scene, in the background, playing IMDb says he's an assistant, but I think he looks more like a security guard or like a bodyguard. Is Jon Favreau. In the background, just chilling. This is the only, like...
Really?
Yeah. He's just in the background.
Johnny
I
Favreau.
can watch it.
He's Jon Favreau, but squashed in like a PowerPoint image sort of thing. Like he looks exactly like he does now, but just much thinner.
Oh
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I was looking at the IMDb cast list of this, and as I was scrolling through, it said Jon Favreau. I was like, wait, what? Whatever. Probably just some minor cameo, but I didn't know it was in this scene.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that on IMDb and I was like, Jon Favreau's not in this. And I went through it and I typed it in. He's just one of his assistants in the background, just one of the people he walks in with. Doesn't have a line, doesn't do anything. He's just chilling in the background as an extra, which I think's mad. Awesome. Yeah. So I've not really got much about the scene. It's pretty bad.
Rapey, creepy, whatever you
It's
want to call it.
weird.
Pretty weird, yeah.
It's
Gropey.
Did she just? I don't understand how she even got onto the roof to begin with. She's not a police officer, so how does she gain this access to begin with?
I fully think she just flashed her tits.
She must have done because
Like, I fully think she was just like
hey! She got all the way wearing just that, or maybe she didn't. Maybe she got to the station and then got changed in the bathroom and then went onto the roof because it must have been cold as shit,
Yeah.
She's just there in the corner
Who
like...
So the only thing about this scene really is the way it ends when he jumps down into the car and he sits there and he's like, women. It's like, what do you mean women? Because this happens to you all the time. What the fuck? Like,
I do love, right, Nicole Kidman's ability to fall in love. I can't remember her character's name, so she's just Nicole Kidman.
Chase or something in it.
Her
Chase
ability to fall in love with a man in rubber. She wants to fuck him from moment zero, like the second, and then even despite, because Val Kilmer has to run in such a peculiar way in this suit, right? Where he does little tippy taps, really fast little feet, right? And she watched him run away like that, and she's still like, I'd hit it.
Yeah, man, I'll do it, yeah.
I'm fucking sexy.
It might be a fetish.
It's just, he's not even interested at all, is he? And he's like, I don't fit in at a family picnic. And it's like, okay, yeah, no shit. I mean, if it's costume pie, then maybe, but he's so weird, isn't he? Like, he's just such a weirdo. No wonder he's alone. But like,
Is no one gonna mention like the orgasm group bit? Like,
oh yeah, well she like goes in his hand.
She
She's like, black rubber. It's like, what?
She loves herself some black
know, yeah.
rubber.
Black rubber, yeah.
she's
Ooh.
falling into games.
Like, if that was any of you, and this guy comes up to you, and he's got, like, this black rubber suit on, like, fair enough, he's Batman, you're like, oh, he's Batman, but he's got, like, nipples on it, you'd be like, did you choose to have them on there, or was that just something that came with it? Is that, like, your chest it's moulded on, or is that someone else's? Because that's what I want to know.
Depends if it's
Like-
Ben Affleck in the suit or not. If it is, it's someone else's body entirely. Remember when? Do you guys, you know when how he in Justice League he's wearing like that bat suit, but it's like a wetsuit after he takes the bat suit off, and it's got like abs like stitched into it, and it's so apparent, and you just think, come on then.
Work out, man. Just get
Plot
rolling.
twist, it's
you know what
Val
I mean?
Kilmer's abs. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what he based it on.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, I want to know if even in just like the canon of Batman, are those Bruce Wayne's abs, or are they just someone else's abs? Like, did he?
It's Alfred's abs.
It is. No, it is. Probably is.
I like that.
You know,
I like this Alfred. This Alfred was cute.
he is. I quite like the Jeremy Irons one, if I'm honest. I think the most. Oh no, take that back. Actually, I like the one from the animated show. I like that one.
Yeah,
like
he's
a dad
great.
in it. He's like a dad
I
in
haven't
it.
watched
I'm
that
like,
in ages.
like it's the same kind of Alfred. That's like I always like to consider that the Arkham games are just sequels to the animated show because it's made by the same people, voiced by the same people.
Is it Kevin Conroy still?
It's Kevin.
It is,
Yeah,
yes.
Kevin
Yeah.
Conroy. Yeah.
And Mark Hamill is the Joker, and I think it's like a few of the same other people. It's first one's Arkham Asylum's written by what's his name?
Oh, I knew this.
Paul Dini.
Yes. Who did the
Paul
animated
Dini,
series? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's heavily inspired by the animated series anyway. Obviously, it's a little darker, I guess, but I like to think that it's a sequel. Kind of. But yeah, so get that whole bit. He's in the car. Women, weird line.
Ugh.
And then we go back. We catch up with Enigma, see what he's doing, and he's got his brainwave things going on. So the thing with this scene is, I reckon that if this just worked the way he was expecting, he wouldn't have like gone on to be a villain. Like, because the whole he's like, unexpected side effect, the thing where he gets smarter, he wasn't expecting it. So if it just worked normally, would he have just been like not villain anymore or what? Like,
I still think he would have been a villain, but perhaps not as crazy. Because even when he becomes a crazy supervillain, part of his plan is still to sell his invention and make lots of money. Even if that just translates to getting loads of brains, he still forms a company. He still buys a private island and puts a massive blender on it. Like, you know, money is still clearly on the brain for
like,
him.
also, I mean, I feel like all of that would have still happened, but he would have just been kind of like not as crazy. He would have been like, oh yeah, I'm rich. It would have been like Bruce Wayne if he wasn't Batman. You know what I mean? He would have just been like, so from obviously that scene, he kills his boss, doesn't he? They've got retreated to that really beautiful line where he's like, "Surf's up, Baker Huna," or whatever. And he kills his boss.
Writing.
Yeah. And there's that bit that it ends with where he goes up to the camera and he like goes like right in the camera and he's like taking out and he's like he's gonna put you in your place or whatever, and he takes. I think that's actually like kind of a creepy shot because he gets like right up in there and it's like just I don't know. I always like that shot. He probably scared me when I first watched it.
Thing is, this was your first experience of Batman, right?
Yeah.
How old were you, do you reckon, when you watched it?
Probably 4 or 5.
Fair enough. See, mine was Scooby-Doo meets Batman and Robin.
That's good, man.
That was
Absolutely.
a good one.
That was my first, like... And you'd heard of Batman, you go, oh, look, I know who that is, that's Batman.
Yeah.
First time I saw him was during that. So the next then Batman movie I saw in a charity shop was Batman Returns. So I watched that when I must have been like 6 or 7. That shit, when you're 6 or 7, and then when you watch this one when you're a bit older, no, it's got nothing on it. Anything spooky in this one, no.
Just out of interest, because I'm not sure whether or not I dreamt this, on the topic of like Batman spin-offs, does anyone know if there was a Batman and Johnny Bravo crossover?
There's got to have been.
Surely.
I think
I
in
watched
my
the shit
head,
out of Johnny Bravo.
I've got this image of like Johnny Bravo in the Batcave, and there's like tons of different bat suits, and he starts trying them on. And I don't know if I've invented that or if that's real.
I mean, if it's not, can it happen? Like,
I hope it's
Should
real.
I want it to happen. Like, did he just invite some randomer? He's like, oh yeah, come to the Batcave. Oh, by the way, he just on the way, he's like, wait, it's under Wayne Manor. All right, okay. He's just fine with just letting some randomer in. It's like, it's weird, isn't it? Like, I feel like that's a thing. I don't know. It sounds familiar.
If it did, I really hope he starts trying to get it on with Batgirl, and she's just like really like attacks him one. Like,
You just know that would happen. Oh man. Right. So obviously, right. So he kills his boss, doesn't he? And then we get that big cuts to Wayne Enterprises, and we get that kind of like mini origin story about Two-Face. And someone throws some acid in his face, and it goes in the clip. It goes all over his face, but it only scars one half. He's like, he's got like the way they do it is by he puts a file on one half. And is that why it's a straight line? He's like, oh no, my face, only half my face is burning, man. And then just to make that bit even better, Batman appears
Just
fully
chilling.
costume in his
Just
costume.
sat there.
He's like, oh no! Like I'm convinced that he was already there at that hearing, like to testify against Maroney, and he was just
in
sat
full
there
costume.
in his he just sat there behind the stand, just like waiting for his turn, just to stand. And then it happens. He's like, oh god, I'm Batman! Move out of the way! I need to see you.
And again, the whole hearing, he's facing entirely forward because he can't move. They're like, Batman to the stand, please. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm here. I'm ready. I can testify. I'm not looking at you, but like, we're connecting, you know? I'm here.
I could just imagine who sat there and like the lawyer just walking over here, leaning against the thing, and he's like, yeah, man, yeah, he did it. Yeah, I saw him. I caught him doing it, man. I'm Batman, trust me. And he's like, are you looking at me, Batman? And he's like, yeah, man.
I'm trying.
I'm doing my best, man.
He's like, he has to make the oath, doesn't he? Does he have to sign his name as Batman? Or does he sign... Is it like, he just writes it down, it's just Batman, a signature Batman signature. He's like, no, I'm going to need your actual name. He's like, no, it's Batman.
He's just
Batman.
there, just covering it with his hand. He's just like,
He's
secretly puts
being
Bruce
all-
Wayne and covers it, and like passes it back. Like,
Slides it
don't
back
look at that.
Yeah. I could just imagine him being like, I'm going to need your actual name. He's like, no, I'm Batman. And being all brooding and being like, Batman is who I really am. He's like,
He doesn't even
I'd like
talk
to
like that,
imagine
though.
that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I like to imagine
Bruce
that
Wayne
he
is
would
my
start...
other identity. And he's like, wait, what? Bruce Wayne? You're Bruce Wayne? It's like, no.
No.
What? I'm Batman.
I like to imagine that sometimes while signing things, he would start writing Bruce Wayne instinctively and then remember. So it would actually say like Bratman.
Right.
That would be amazing. I would honestly love that to be like I want that I want a film where it's just Batman, but not the Batman bits, just the other bits.
Yeah.
Like him trying to get into
through.
his suit. Literally, like him trying to get into his suit, him trying to squeeze into his Batmobile in that rubber suit, being like on the leather seats
Squeaks.
and the drive-through. I want like a film where it's just all of that.
Why didn't Lego
yeah.
Batman do this? If there's a sequel to Lego Batman, they're the only ones I feel like
That's
will
what they gotta
actually
do.
this. Like,
Literally, yeah. Honestly, and then we can all listen to the music in work on repeat.
No.
I mean, if it's good music, then right? Yeah. So he, So then they get the call, don't they? And he's like, "Oh, there's been an accident in the Wayne Enterprises," and I love this scene because in this scene, not only do we get the world's greatest detective, but also the city's police commissioner look down at a note and go, "Yep, suicide. That's all it can be. It's definitely suicide." No,
In the suicide note,
yeah,
starts, "To whom it may concern."
Like,
It's my favourite bit.
They don't even investigate. Like, it's just they have a bit of footage, which obviously, like later in the film, he's like his death when he realized it was Edward Nigma. Later in Bruce is like, the footage was obviously fabricated. Why didn't you think of that then? When this has happened? Like, if you know that that's something that's possible, then why are you not investigating it as Batman? Like, he just accepts it. And then he doesn't even question it when he goes to his office and there's a fucking riddle sitting on his desk on the same day that one of his employees has killed himself. Like, I don't get it. He's a terrible detective. He's really bad.
Yeah. He's really bad, yeah.
Like, I think that the guy in this, he's underused, but Commissioner Gordon in this, he's just like the bumbling kind of like police commissioner. He's like
absolute wet wipe.
He's Chief Wiggum, but in Gotham.
Which is a shame because like Commissioner Gordon's such a good character in every other medium apart from this one, and it's I don't know, I don't like him. So he gets his riddle, doesn't he? And then he goes and shows it. We see what the riddle is when. Oh no, we don't. Hold on. Is it? We cut to we go to Edward's apartment, don't we? And it's like a weird like corridor apartment. It doesn't even look like it's got any bedrooms. It looks like it's just been stuck on the end of like some building or something. And he's got that like machine wearing the Riddler costume already. So if he's already designed the character for this machine, why does he then later go through the options?
He goes through lots of different costumes.
He's like Mr. What is it? Captain Kill, and it's like, but you've just. Yeah, and I don't know. He's even got like he's obviously this isn't like a character that exists. Like the bobblehead.
But he's got a bobblehead, yeah.
Yeah, the bobblehead is obviously something he's made for himself.
I tell you what I do love, right? This movie, this time period of superhero movies, is where they were not actually afraid of comic book nonsense. They just did it. They're all cowards now, and they're too afraid. They're too afraid to call the Fantastic Four the Fantastic Four. They're too afraid to have like characters call themselves Batman and Superman. It's always like the public has named this new superhero. Like all this bollocks, and like it's not an S on my planet. It means hope. Fuck off. It means Superman, right? You put your initial on your chest. I love that it's like, no, we're running with this comic book nonsense. He's got a bobblehead of himself. Why? Fucking, I don't know. He coats his base with neon question marks everywhere because he's the fucking Riddler. Get over it.
I even love that his apartment is under a billboard for like a crossword. What is it? It's like a puzzle, isn't it? It's like some advert for some puzzle thing in Gotham or whatever. And he picks an apartment right under that as well, just in case he didn't know that it was the Riddler's apartment. Like,
fair, like I'm happy. I can totally accept a lot of those coincidences. I mean, his name is fucking Enigma.
Literally.
Right? Fine.
They even use it later in the film as well.
Become the Riddler. I don't care. Your name is just coincidentally works out pretty well. Whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of this where you go, yeah, okay, it happens just because it happens. Because that's the way comic books do it. It just is. And that's fine. But a lot of it is like, oh, how? Just how? What's the time period of this movie? From start to finish, how much time has passed?
2 days.
I hope
48 hours.
He becomes stupid rich within like 2 days.
His hair has changed 3 times and then back again. He went relatively longish sort of hair to just buzz cut orange to then, I'm just look like Jim Carrey now again, but I look like I've got it all together.
It's not even
back to
that party
either way, if the timeline of this movie is really long, there's logic holes there, because if Edward Nigma, clear mental case when like Bruce Wayne saw him, suddenly went sane and had this rise to power, like and all this money, just as this new supervillain would come out, the world's greatest detective would at least go, the connection there.
That's good. That's a bit
you'd think.
He's too busy getting poo.
But he doesn't. And if it does take place within like a really short amount of time,
it must be at least,
Gotham City has a Statue of Liberty, helicopters have wheels, Get on my level of logic here, Jacob.
It's so... I mean, when that Statue of Liberty thing happened and the helicopter crashed into it, I was like, oh, this is going to look pretty neat, right? Because Two-Face has just crashed a helicopter into the face of the Statue of Liberty. Maybe half the face will be messed up and half will be alright. That'll be really neat.
That would be good.
Just crashes into it.
Doesn't even happen
I didn't
so
even think
obvious.
of that. That's a really
opportunity
good...
right there. If it was like any other flying vehicle, like a plane, yeah, that's going to do some damage. But you've literally got like a cutting saw that can cut a straight line on your vehicle.
Cut half of it. And it's even the right side. If he'd gone onto one side, he would have crashed into the torch. It's not even that side, it's the right side. He's got all this room to just straight past it. And he just doesn't. He crashes into the wrong side of the face as well. It's mostly on this bit. And it's like, my God, you had one job.
How did they
and
not?
literally. Like, the thing with Two-Face in this film, though, is they implement something into this film that they, like, don't really do in the comics anymore. And it's kind of his obsession with doing things in twos. They don't do it so much in the comics anymore.
Yeah, they
but
don't.
In this, at the beginning, she's like, it's the second Bank of Gotham on the second anniversary of the day you captured him or something like that. And they used to do it all the time. I remember reading, I think it was the comic from the 80s when, I can't remember which Robin it was. I think it was it doesn't matter. I think it was, no it wasn't, doesn't matter. Tim Drake. It was when he becomes the thingy, when he becomes Robin, I think. I might be getting it wrong. But Two-Face, there's a bit in that comic where Two-Face is going through all of his plans. He's like, I'll kidnap twins, I'll blow up 2 cars. And I think one of the lines, and obviously this is the 80s, way before it happened, but he's like, one of the lines is something like, I'll blow up the Twin Towers. Oh no, I won't do that either. That's too something else. And it's like, oh no. You're reading it and it's like, And I feel like it's because of lines like that they don't really do it so much anymore.
Maybe.
They don't want
to
actually predict something.
Yeah. Like, obviously that was the 80s, so they had absolutely no idea of knowing. But I kind of get that. I mean, I imagine that's not the only reason. I imagine there's other reasons. It maybe just faded out, or maybe they thought that it was really like cheesy and comic or whatever. But I have a feeling it played some kind of part. Maybe, I don't know. I can't even remember what scene we were up to. Oh yeah, apartment. He was in his apartment, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's in his apartment. He's got the suit already, even though he checks it through later. And then he makes the second riddle, doesn't he? And he drops it off, and then we see that riddle when Bruce goes to the Chase's apartment, or is it her apartment or is it her office? I don't know.
It's something she owns.
Yeah.
He breaks her door.
Yeah,
he bashes down her door.
So this
Bull
is
rushes her door. She's fine with it.
Yeah. She's like, oh, good, you're rich, you can fix my door, yeah. Won't happen for maybe a week, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Stood outside her door and could just hear like punching noises and grunting noises, and he immediately assumes, sounds like she's losing that fight. She's
Why does he assume there's a fight though? He's in, I assume, a medical institution. Why is he assuming that she's getting beaten up in her office? Why is that the first thing his mind goes to?
Was the door locked, or could he just thought that busting through it was more dramatic? Like, that takes more effort and also slightly reveals that you have some skill to be able to knock down a fucking 8-foot door or something stupid. Not everyone can do that. There are very few people in Gotham who are able to do that.
So
just open the door and go, are you okay?
Yeah, you just
try knocking
down.
I was gonna kick it down, but it's fine. I'm glad you're only exercising. Like, my issue with this scene is she's meant to be that everyone who's meant to be smart in this film is obviously fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, she's meant to be this doctor of what is she meant to be, like a psychiatrist or something who specializes in split personalities, which is obviously what Batman's suffering from when you like look at it. Because he's like, oh yeah, I'm Batman, I'm also Bruce Wayne. It's too whatever. But she, from the fact that there's two main giveaways in this scene. So you've got him having the ability to knock the door off its hinges, this massive metal door. And then later on, so she's like, oh, okay, so he's mad strong. And then later on, it's like, oh, have you got an obsession for bats? And she was like, oh, do you have an obsession for bats? And like, she's made this like connection. You would, wouldn't you? This mad strong guy obsessed with bats. Oh, I wonder who he could be.
With those lips as well.
Exactly. Like,
and the same voice.
Exactly. Yeah. He doesn't even change his voice. Like, and then, so she can't pick up on any kind of indication there. But later in the film, she kisses him and's like, oh my god, you're Batman.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like, what? That makes no sense. But yeah, and then
she's a horny, like, bitch anyway.
Literally. And it's like...
Basically.
It's just... Oh, it's insane. Like, no one who's meant to be smart in this film is. They're all stupid as fuck. Like, yeah. So, and then it ends obviously with that really weird bit where you think Bruce Wayne's being really creepy and he's like, they're gonna get you out of those clothes. And you're like, what? Right, into a black dress. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So bad.
Bad. Like, for a split second, you're meant to think that he's just being, like, really creepy with her or something. You're like, what? And he's like, and into a black dress. You do that in real life. You're going to get slapped before you even get the chance to say the second bit.
Basically.
Like, they'd be like, well, hang on, what did you just say?
Yeah, literally. It's like, I'd get you into some of those clothes. Whoa, no. Like, it's, like, even if you said the second bit, the first bit's creepy enough for a real person to not want to talk to you anymore.
Do you know what? Dresses? Nah, I'm not coming with you.
What? Like, you're a patient of mine as well. Like, he's literally a patient. Like, they've never met before. She's supposed to be in love with Batman. It's like, alright, you're rich, I'll just come with you, don't even worry about it. So, we go, obviously, to the... So we go, obviously, to the circus, don't we? And Two-Face shows up, I can't remember why does he show up? Is it related to the plot?
Progress the plot. Progress the plot.
Just does. Yeah.
I feel like that's the only reason. He's
why would you go to a random place to ask Batman's identity? That's so like...
Yeah.
Oh, they tried to justify it in the script because it's supposed to be a circus where like all of Gotham's finest, richest and finest are there. So he's like, one of you's got to be Batman.
Well, that's the first time someone's actually acknowledged that someone rich must be Batman because no one else can afford this
true.
Gear.
Yeah.
And he's the smartest one out of this entire film because of that bit.
Yeah. But that assumption,
he's like, well, you've got a mad car, you've got all these gadgets which you can just dispose of whenever you want. He must be rich, and it's like it's a fair assumption. And then, obviously, he instantly rats himself out. He's like, I'm Batman, but then obviously no one can hear him. Not even someone sat like right there next to him.
Why would he do that as well? Instead of just leaping into action, he's like, oh no, the villain will definitely stop. Compliance definitely works.
Yeah. He doesn't even hesitate, does he? He just stands up. He's like, I'm Batman, it's me. And then no one around him hears him. Like, even if I don't care how loud it is.
Stop it.
Yeah.
No,
it'd be amazing if he started getting like...
Stop the... Yeah,
it'd
like,
be amazing
stop
if he
it.
started getting frustrated and started just doing like little bat ears and stuff.
Yeah. See, and then just to make it worse,
so unenthusiastic as well when he said it. And he tried once. He was like, "No, it's me. I'm Batman." That didn't work.
Guess I'll just be Batman instead and fight him.
And then he went in. Oh,
see, this is the other thing as well. He's just admitted to it. He's just apparently, obviously, he's open to the idea of, being like, yeah, I'm Batman. And then instead of going down and being like, oh, no, it's me, I'm Batman, it's me, I'll beat up your guys just to prove it. He doesn't even do that. He beats up the guys and then still no one makes the connection that he's Batman. Like, he's beaten up, he single-handedly took down like a bunch of guys. Like, I don't know. But yeah, and then obviously...
Nicole Kidman's character there, like...
Yeah. She's like...
Shit.
Like, why does she stay with him, honestly? Because he just ditches her in this kind of, like... All these criminals have appeared, and then he just fucks off and, like, ditches her. And then she's fine with it. She picks him over fucking Batman later in the film.
I like to think that she sort of knows that he's Batman, but, like,
yeah,
she has
she must do.
Surely,
there's no other...
just said that surely she must know.
Yeah.
So I reckon the only reason she hangs around is because she does know.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I don't know if I'm just trying to
subconsciously
justify it at this point.
Yeah, you're doing
but
work for the movie here,
Yeah.
Jacob. That the
I
movie should have done.
apologise. No,
Do you reckon
can-
she'd like get him to wear it in the bedroom, like just the mask?
Imagine. She must have.
He still can't
Maybe
move
keep the
much,
nips
but-
as well.
Oh,
Like,
Bennett.
Just the bodysuit. She does love the black rubber, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. See, that's the other thing as well. Like, is there no crime on the weekend? Because there's a line of dialogue where he's like, "I'm going away rock climbing this weekend. Where do you find the time? You're Batman. There's crime? What? I don't understand." But yeah, I
maybe
always
you
wondered
just
about,
give Superman a ring and he's like, "Mate, I'm going away for
Well,
the weekend. You got
there
Gotham
is-
and Metropolis
like,
to deal with." now."
literally, in the following scene, there is a Superman reference. He's like,
Yeah,
must
yeah.
be to Metropolis by now. So he obviously exists.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. And then, so obviously Robin's parents die because of course they do. And then Two-Face conveniently happens to be standing on an escape hatch in the floor that he can
knows
escape
about
from.
as
Yeah.
well.
So he's just like, hey, yeah, fuck that, bye, and leaves. Not even bothered if like the bomb's gonna go off or not. Not even asked about it. He kills the kid's family because they're trying to disarm it, and then he fucks off before he sees if it goes off. And if it's rising up as well, why is it rising up?
Yeah, no,
Because
it
by
doesn't
the
make
time
any
he gets
sense.
to
Convenience.
Keep it
2
on the
minutes,
ground.
it's right at the top.
Convenience.
Like, it's right at the top by the time he gets there. So what's his plan? To blow up the roof and it just collapse in or something? Like, wouldn't it be better to just have it in the middle and it's like, I don't know.
To be fair, there's no logic
Weird
to
scene.
Batman villains anyway, so I
No.
would say
It's just
we
a
can't look too
convenient.
deep into it.
But I
Yeah,
I
like-
do love that it's a big comedy cartoon bomb as well.
Yeah.
It looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
it weighs about 3 tons, and Robin just yeets it into the ocean.
He actually does.
Kobe, like,
And it only takes like 2 seconds for it to get in the lake as well, just so it doesn't blow up on the side or anything. It just manages to make the water, which is irritating. But oh well. Right. So yeah. So then obviously it moves on, doesn't it? So we go Robin, and Robin's being a knobhead to Alfred, and he's like, ow. And then Batman he's gonna leave, isn't he? And he's oh god, I've lost my place.
Takes him into the garage, right? The garage.
yeah,
so
shows him his bikes.
He takes him into the garage, and he like lures Robin in with the promise of bikes and burgers, apparently, I guess. I don't know.
Men.
Yeah, and then we get this really weird kind of Batman origin scene, but it's not Batman origin, is it? It's like it introduces like his dad's notebook,
Yeah.
which is is a side story, which means absolutely nothing in the film because they deleted all of the scenes that explained it. Like that scene at the end with the big huge bat, that's meant to be kind of him accepting that he's meant to be Batman, and because
Yeah.
he finds the diary, doesn't he? And because he says, "Oh, he falls in the thing or whatever," and then he goes and finds it later on, but they delete the whole side story. So why keep this scene in? It just seems like a pointless, unresolved thing in the film, and it's pointless as fuck.
I mean, there's so many stupid things. Like in this scene as well, Alfred points at Dick's helmet,
What?
which has this like diving bird on it. And he
Yeah.
goes, "Is that a robin?" Which means in the Schumacher universe, robins are birds of prey. They've got like a wingspan of
fucking
like
red bird.
6 foot.
Oh my god.
literally.
That's so
It must
terrifying.
see, that's what you were saying before about the thingy, like with the Riddler. He has like a thing. He has like a bobblehead of the because he's gonna be the Riddler. It's like a comic book thing. If this
Yeah.
was like a comic book, if this was a Batman film that came out now, he would not have that Robin name on his thing, would
Nope.
he?
They wouldn't refer
be-
to him as Robin once.
No, they wouldn't.
The R would
Yeah.
stand for like ruthless or
Yeah.
something.
It would be
They
like
sort of
his
did it in
dad's
Chris
name.
Nolan's Dark Knight Rises, didn't they? When you had thingy.
Oh, the-
Levitt, what's
Joseph
it?
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
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 Oh, you should use your first name. Oh yeah, in case you weren't aware, your first name's Robin.
Yeah.
Also,
It's just-
if you were Robin, Why would you choose your first name to be your superhero name?
Doesn't work.
That is weird, yeah.
Doesn't work,
Like,
It's
imagine
really
saying,
weird, isn't it?
oh, shit, look, there goes Batman and Jacob. like, doesn't
kind
work,
of-
does it?
I mean, I don't
That
know,
has to be
you
a
said that then,
horrible
and it kind of had a flow to it. I can imagine someone saying it, honestly.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Batman and Jacob.
No, it sounds,
goes.
it doesn't even sound bad, you know what I mean? Like, I can imagine it being a thing.
I think it's just because it's
Batman and
followed by... It's because it becomes after Batman and... It's like... Brilliant.
Jacob.
Honestly, like,
I'm fucking
Like,
dying.
Batman and Jacob.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'd
Oh,
watch
man.
that.
I'd watch that, honestly.
I'd watch that too.
Yeah.
I'd want it to be some obscure Jacob from, like, history, though. Like, not even, like, just a guy. Or
I
not,
was
like,
implying
just...
it'd be me, but alright, that's okay.
Oh, yeah,
Some
but no,
obscure
it could be
Jacob
you
history, sure.
playing some kind of obscure Jacob from history. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but then, oh well.
Yeah, but see, I'm imagining like Jacob and 42 just having a dance, and Batman turns up like, Jacob, we must go now, bro. I'm dancing.
I'm alright. Cheers, Batman. Not tonight. I'm having
He's
a boogie,
dancing
mate.
from the fucking Prince songs from that first Batman film, that fucking Bat dance song. That's what you're dancing to. And then Batman's just like, oh, don't even worry about it. It's like, "Da-na-na-na-na." Batman just like whipping his cape off or something, getting selfies with everyone. That's what I'm imagining.
Good.
Oh, man.
Ah,
We need to crowdfund this.
it's a dream.
DJing and everything, like.
When
Oh no,
times
wait,
get
no,
really
that's
low.
the Lego Batman movie, isn't it? That's just
Yeah,
the Lego
yeah.
Batman movie, that's all that is. Oh, man.
Oh,
Right.
dear.
So he lures in with the bikes. We have that weird scene where he's looking through the book, or not the book, or whatever. And then, is it the car chase scene? It's a car chase scene in it, where Two-Face is just in the road, dressed up
Yes.
as the old woman. He's
Makes
like,
no sense.
I'm Two-Face. Here's a big fucking bazooka that he gets from nowhere, and then misses. Anyway, and then he escapes by driving up a building.
Oh, don't get me started.
Drives
on
up a
that.
wall.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, my problem with this is what does
I
he do
love
when he
it.
gets to the top? Does he just stay up there for a bit and wait for them to leave?
Dangles.
And then, like, or does
You
he
can
go
do
off the
this.
other side?
You can do this in Arkham Knight, right? And if it's acceptable in that game, it's acceptable here.
It's so Adam West.
The Batmobile can drive up
So
walls.
clumsy, though.
Jacob, accept it. Let it in.
So
Just let it in.
clumsy. Like, if
See,
his car's going along and then it just goes, oh yeah, this long vehicle where the wheels are like nowhere near the front and nowhere near the back. We're on a wall now because I shot a harpoon up.
how does it go? How does it go over the edge though? Like, hold on, right? Here we go.
Have any of you ever played? Worms?
Yeah.
Oh,
What, the
Video
game?
game
The
Worms.
indie game? Yeah.
So I imagine the logic is that in Worms you can use a grappling hook and you can fire it off. And what you can do is you can sort of swing, and the bottom of your worm will like propel it back up like this. And if you get like your time your swings right, you start to swing all the way around. So I imagine it's the Batmobile repeatedly bashing into the wall until it gets enough momentum to swing all the way around.
Oh no.
No, right, yeah. So like, I've got
Like,
my
with
Those
Got
rubber
a
little
demonstration.
little
Lego
wings
one
it's
here.
got. That flap.
right. I've got my Lego one here. It's the same kind of shape in it, nice and
Yeah, I'll
flat
take it.
and long. If you're right, this is the wall, right? This is the wall. He's going up like that, and the edge. Is he just going to be like... like that, like... Or is it like he goes up and then just kind of like falls like that? Like, I want to know how it works. I want to know the logic.
That's exactly how it is.
And then does he just like... But then what does he do when he gets up to the top? Is it like in
Drives off.
Batman Begins where he's just parkouring across the buildings in his car?
Yes.
Or what? Like, I don't know. It's just, it's...
No,
Crazy.
it's not. He drives to the edge and then does another 90 degree and goes back down the other
He's
side.
just like straight down. He actually goes. I can imagine it. Why is that scene not in the film? Oh man, this film missed opportunities. Oh man. And then yeah. So the bizzare escapes of a building because of, I don't know why he couldn't just gone down an alley, blown up something behind him, and just created like a wreckage to to block the alley so they can't follow him any further. That would have been an easier, more logical thing to do.
There are much cooler ways of getting out of that situation as well. I mean, he's just proven that his car can go sideways by, like, turning its wheels.
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
Has he not got, like, a sat-nav or, like, a bat-nav?
Hey!
Where, like, surely, as Batman, you're supposed to be smart. You're supposed to have all these gadgets.
He's got, like,
shit, I drove down a dead end.
Like, he's got, like, a literal fucking FaceTime thing in the handle, do you remember?
Yeah.
He's, like, talking to people through it.
He's got an
like,
Apple Watch in 1995.
He actually does, but he hasn't got a sat-nav. Like, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus. Right, anyway. So he does that, and then we're treated to the Two-Face's base, which is split down the middle. And it's got a young Drew Barrymore on one side, and it's got Debbie Mazur on the other side. And in case you don't know who that is, she is the woman, anyone who watched Entourage, she plays his kind of publicist in Entourage. But she's also in Goodfellas, she plays the girlfriend who's like into like coke and shit. In that, I mean that's before this anyway, but only just. But yeah, I find it really weird that it's like so split down the middle. And like, is he going to eat both of those meals as well?
They were
Or
big
does he have
meals.
to choose?
One of them's a whole hog.
Yeah, well, exactly.
He's a growing lad, Jacob.
He's a growing boy.
I mean, it's a good job the Riddler shows up. You've got so much food to accommodate him as well.
I quite like the aesthetic of the good side, bad side. As comic book like layers go, Two-Face especially. Yeah, I could. That was one of the times I went, I can accept that. That's okay.
It's kind of cool looking. My only thing with it is when the Riddler shows up and he tests his thing to Two-Face. I should really thingy. His two assistants are called Sugar and Spice. That's the only name we're given, and it's not even mentioned in the film. It's in the credits. So he uses Sugar and Spice as like examples. He's like, oh, go sit down, and then there just so happens to be two of his boxes already on their TVs. Did he plan it before with them? Or did he... I don't know. They're just already there.
Well, if he was able to sneak in undetected, he possibly could have snuck in undetected, put the two like blenders on top of the TVs, snuck back out, and then snuck back in again for dramatic effect.
He could have been there from the moment the scene started, and he's just crawling around on all fours for the entire time.
All that.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. Like, wouldn't he have noticed these massive green blenders on top of the TVs? Why do they have two TVs as well? I get that it's meant to be split, but that's a lot of money, that. Like, I can't imagine the thingy TVs. And then they've like trashed one of them, I imagine, to make it look to fit with the decor of one side.
Yeah, it's just like slightly got a blowtorch to it to melt it a little bit and be like
just like
a few cracks in the screen.
His aesthetic is on point.
Like, I can just imagine on Drew Barrymore's side, she's just sat there ready, watching TV, hers is fine. But on the other side, they've got the TV and it's on, and he's just there with a blowtorch. And if it starts to if the screen starts shivering a bit, he's like, no, stop. Okay, I'll do the other side. It's like, oh, I could just imagine them just like trying to get it perfect. And then this is the only time as well we see this fucking scene in the film. So, yeah. So then we get obviously that do you bleed green thing where he like pins him against the wall, and then we've got the kind of the montage of them stealing shit, and he's like oh, this is a big one. He's like, no, this is a big one. And he's like, show me how to punch a guy, and he just kind of punches him. I actually laughed at that bit, where he punches the guy, and he's
so
like,
cheesy.
It is, but I kind of laughed, and I'm not even ashamed to admit.
Same.
Right. I am very time conscious here because we are like not even halfway through this film. So I'm gonna
so much more of this.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I couldn't actually believe that this movie was 2 hours when I started it. Like, I do not remember it being this long when I was young.
Literally.
Yeah, I really felt the length of it. I was telling Sam off air that while I was watching it, I was sort of peckish. But often if I'm peckish and I'm watching a movie, I'll just kind of sit through it, Wait till the end, go get some food. With this, I was like, nah, fuck it. Actively paused it, went off, went into the kitchen, got some food, made myself a cup of tea, sat watching YouTube on my phone for a bit, before I then realised, oh yeah, shit, I gotta go back and finish it now. Like,
Batman Forever.
it was so tedious.
It drags
it was
on.
Unreal.
Yeah. That's what I mean. There's so much to just take the piss out of, but there's so much to take the piss out of. You know what I mean? There's too much. Like,
Definitely.
I'm gonna have to like skip ahead because we're gonna be here for hours. Yeah. So right. So.
No one will watch
welcome
it
to
for
our
5 hours.
7-hour response video to Batman Forever.
Oh,
Right, yeah, no, yeah, so he does the thing, he steals some shit. The Riddler and Two-Face. There's that bit where he goes to Meridian's house, doesn't he? And... Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, so he goes and we get that lovely shot of Alfred on his fucking Apple Watch where he's like, he stole the car, and he's just like flexing on all these expensive cars. He's like, oh, the Mercedes? He's like, no, the other car. And he's like, oh, the Rolls Royce. I don't know if this is the actual cars he uses, but he's like, no, man, the other car. And he's like, oh, right, the other. And then it cuts to him like fucking bouncing down the road in the fucking Batmobile. And then he's like, what's the excuse he uses when he gets out? He says like, oh yeah, man, I forgot my suit, I'm Batman, something like that.
Yeah. Robin gets out and he's like, no, man, I'm Batman. Come on.
I forgot my suit, okay?
the biggest
It
issue
happens, guys.
I have with all of this is ordinarily the Batmobile in this one has one fin like up the middle. For some random reason, for this scene, he's like low riding it along, dual fins.
Split into two and they're wobbling.
Like wobbling
all
as it's
over
going.
the
Like,
shop.
they're so definitely made of rubber, you know. They're like just like
was-
as it's going down.
Why, is it a thing where there's some function of them being able to split apart, or did they just break it?
He
or
wanted that
something?
scene where it just wobbles around.
I mean, this is a weird looking Batmobile anyway. This is
is,
like the
really
Batmobile, but it's ribbed for her pleasure. Like, that's what it looks like.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, amazing.
Spot on.
Love it.
Oh, no.
And then it's like I want to like know if like is there an option on the Batmobile to make it bounce, or was it just the way he was driving it? Because I don't know about you guys, but I've never been in a car. Even when you stall a car, it doesn't fucking bounce, does it? It's it's massive, so it's gonna be heavy. That front bit's probably where the engine is. So did they make? And they must have made like a Batmobile just for that shot, because there's no way that the Batmobile they use for the rest of the film is that light.
Yeah,
I
no,
refuse.
surely not.
Like, it's
Probably.
insane.
Be one of like
But
the
yeah,
shell
so-
cars you get where it's driven
Yeah.
really slowly by some really small, weak motors, but the rest of it is like weighs nothing. It's made out of like
Yeah.
PVA and cardboard. And
Yeah, it
they
must
can just
like,
able to like get it on a wire, just like flopping down the street.
yeah. Like, they must have done it just so you knew that it wasn't Batman driving. Like, it must be the only reason. Because obviously he's this hip kid who's got a fucking earring in one ear, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm so hip. I'm bouncing down the road in the fucking Batmobile, and it's like, all right, great. And then he goes and beats up some guys who are like if those guys left their kind of like little hideout, their makeup would just not have the same effect at all.
It looks so
Because they've
shit.
got all the black lights and stuff to make it all glow. But if they left the hideout, then they'd just be assholes covered in paint. You know what I mean? Like, the same effect's not even there. But yeah, so obviously Batman conveniently shows up. Bruce is all, he's all like, "Oh, it's your fault." He's like, "Is it? All right." Even though he knows that it's Bruce, and Bruce was there fighting them. He's like, "It's your fault. It should have been you." It's like, should it have been?
Really?
I don't think it should have. Yeah, so then he steals the car, doesn't he? And is this the bit where they go to the party, don't they? And it's like Edward Nygma's like thingy party, and this is where he's got his normal. He's just Jim Carrey again, and his hair's not like ginger anymore. It's just normal brown Jim Carrey hair, and it must be a wig, but it's definitely not a wig.
Yeah.
And it's like he's got the mind. It just randomly out of nowhere drops the whole the thing about he can now read minds as well as being able to abstract. He's like, oh yeah, I can read minds now, and it's like, all right, okay.
Do you know what this scene? So I remember getting stumped because my assumption while this scene was going on was that Bruce was going there specifically to investigate Enigma because he thought something fishy was going on. But later on in the movie, the scene where they find out who the Riddler is treated as such a revelation. I was gobsmacked. So it just means in this scene, he is actually just going. Just because
why not?
Right,
and
Ed,
he brings.
How you doing, man? See you doing well.
He brings Thingy as well. Yeah, he brings what's his name? He brings fucking Dick Grayson as well. Why? He's like, he must at least be 18, 17. He doesn't need to be there. You know what I mean? That's purely publicity. Like, look at me, I adopted this child. And brought him with me. He's my son now. It's like, fucking hell. One thing I actually forgot to mention before when we were on the circus scene is, you know the character who's in this? And she's the thingy woman, the one who's like, the publicity woman. She's like, oh, Bruce Wayne. And she's like, oh, Eddie, and she runs off when Edward Neighbor comes. She goes, oh, Eddie, like that. You know that woman, the really like thingy one. Does anyone know who that is in real life? Who plays that character?
No.
So I can't remember her name. Her name's in the films called like Gossip Gerta or something like that. But the woman who plays her is the wife of Batman creator Bob Kane.
Oh damn, son.
Yeah. So yeah. And I was kind of like, I don't know if that's why that must be why she's in the film, I don't know. But I was just like, alright, fair enough. Apparently, Bob Kane appears in this film as well, but I don't think he does because I saw that like on one thing and then I couldn't see it anywhere else. But yeah, there you go. Bob Kane's wife. But yeah, so like I said, we'll kind of jump ahead a bit.
It's fine.
So they fight, don't they? And then he gets, they go to that like underground building thing, don't they? And he gets trapped with like a bunch of sand and shit.
So bad. It's
and he does that thing.
Oh yeah,
with the fire like, tunnel. Like, oh quick, if we hop down this crack in the road, Batman will jump down. And we'll just hold up a tunnel, slide him on over that way, and then we can shoot bazookas at him.
Yeah,
sick.
And then he's like, he did that thing with the fire, don't they? And then he just like things over with his cape, and he presses the button, and he goes metallic.
Yeah.
What is this cape made of?
I forgot about that.
Your fire can't harm me. My wings are like a shield of steel.
Literally. It makes no sense. What is it made of?
Even if it looks like it goes metal, right? Even if it does go metal, they conduct heat, right?
Oh yeah, that's
that fire
so
is
hot.
still gonna burn. But no, it's just...
He doesn't even wait for the fire to go out before he jumps out of it. Like, he's unthingied that metal thing and jumped out of the fire. The fire is still like raging as he's like jumping out of it.
I like to imagine that in the fire he feels the heat because the metal and goes, oh fuck, this was a mistake. Just run.
Yeah. There's a bit of like melted metal just drops like that and he's like, oh fuck. So yeah, and then he does all that, and then obviously he gets put in a situation that without Robin he would have died, because of course he does, but Robin shows up, saves the day. And then it cuts straight to him being all like, fucking moron, why were you doing that? You're going to get yourself killed. He's not even grateful at all, is he? And then there's actually a deleted scene from this scene where they're in the Batcave, which is Bruce kind of like reasoning, like explaining his reasoning for quitting as being Batman. And they cut it out. So he just decides, he just goes to see Chase. And she's like, oh no, I prefer Bruce Wayne. And he's like, oh, all right. And then turns around and he's like...
He does the smile.
That's the scene where she's like, oh, meet me at midnight. And he goes...
Yeah, exactly,
right?
yeah.
And then she's asleep in bed.
Yeah. It's like... and then...
Oh, you caught me.
Because in the movie...
We planned this at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Would my nipple slip?
Oh, but her bed as well is like... vacuum sealed. That lining is so tight around her.
She like slid in there just so you get like it's all like tucked under, isn't it? She's like sliding in. Did you know as well, fun fact, that Nicole Kidman's actually naked under that as well.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, she's not wearing anything, and they filmed it like that. It's just a sheet. That's all it is. And it's like, who convinced her to do that? Because I don't want to imagine Joel Schumacher doing it, because if you've seen him, he's creepy as hell.
I know,
Like,
right?
Just imagine him there like, so Nicole, I'm going to need you to be entirely naked for this scene. And it's like,
It doesn't.
no, what?
That's definitely not necessary.
Just put her in some pyjamas, man, you know what I mean? It's weird. Does she need to be...
That's the first time I've ever heard a guy say that a girl shouldn't be fully naked in bed. That's amazing.
I'm just saying,
wow.
like...
I love you all.
It's just, it's weird, you know?
It's,
And then,
it's
yeah,
like,
obviously-
it's bizarre in this movie because the way it plays out in the film is that he decides to stop being Batman so he can bond Nicole Kidman. That's it. He's
Yeah.
he's gone to
Literally.
Smash Town. I don't need to be Batman anymore. But like, yeah, in the deleted scenes, it's like a proper. Like, he has like an introspective moment of like, oh, I've become my own fear. Batman is my enemy.
He's like, and then that bit with the bat, the massive bat, that whole scene's the point. That's the reason he decides to be Batman again. And it's because he has to be Batman or something, like he was born to be Batman or something like that. Whereas in the film, it's literally just a case of, oh, I want to get with Nicole Kidman. Oh, she's been kidnapped. Guess I need to be Batman again. That's all it is. There's
This
no...
bitch.
Yeah, honestly. It's like, he's... And that's the other thing, right? He's not... He decides, oh yeah, he tells Robin, oh, I'm not going to be Batman. And then within, like, an hour later, she shows up, gets kidnapped. He's Batman within 2 hours of him giving up being Batman. He just doesn't even go like half a day. Like,
It's like when people when like someone says, "Oh, I'm gonna stop smoking," and then you catch them outside like.
literally, that's exactly what
Yeah.
it's an addiction. Batman is an addiction. That's the whole thing about it. But yeah, so yeah, she comes over, they get kidnapped. There's that delightful scene where Alfred opens the door and they're like, trick or treat, and then they knock him out, and then Jim Curry looks at the camera, looks to us and goes, trick, and it's like, what? Why are you talking to us as the audience? Are you acknowledging that we exist? Like, what? How crazy are you, man? And then obviously
But don't include me in this daft scheme.
yeah, exactly.
I don't condone your lunacy.
I'm not a part of this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be like a accessory or something, you know. And then he's like, don't kill Bruce Wayne. And then fucking Two-Face's whole philosophy or whatever is that he flips the coin, and whatever the coin says he decides to do. So he's like, right, I want to kill Bruce Wayne. So I'll just say, oh, it tells me to, no, I'll just do it again. I'll just keep doing it until it tells me I can kill him. And then he gets there, he does all of that, he gets there, and then Riddler's like, no, don't kill him. And he's like, alright, whatever.
He does shoot him in the head, though. He doesn't kill him, but he shoots him
he
in the
does,
head.
yeah, he shoots him in the head. Yeah, okay, fair enough, he shoots him in the head. But like, it skims, doesn't it? Even though he was informed not to kill him, because they know he's Batman. But it's like, whatever.
You know when they're like breaking the Batcave and stuff?
Yeah.
They're throwing bombs about it. I really wanted it to be like Lego Batman. I wanted like studs to like come out of the railings and stuff.
That would be amazing. I can just imagine him like going around and like punching the railings and them things exploding into bits, and him collecting the studs and things, yeah. And then buying a character in the main menu with
True
with all the
hero.
money. Literally, yeah.
As it turns out as well, the Riddler does a really shit job of destroying that Batcave.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah, blows up the Batmobile, sure, that's pretty bad. Blows up a couple of computers and whatever. Oh yeah, but you missed this prototype suit that's probably way better. Yeah. Oh, and that flying Batwing. Oh, and that Batboat.
Literally.
I mean, especially as he had a bag
Does he just not
full of
explode
grenades
the
that he
cave at all?
puts all in the Batmobile, rather than going, I put one in the Batmobile, one could go in that big bat plane. No, the whole fucking shaking bag straight in the Batmobile.
Yeah, he literally... Oh, it's annoying.
Who has time to put grenades that look like fucking toys anyway?
Only he's going to see them as well.
Just get grenades.
No one's there to witness him doing this, so he's the only one going to be able to see it. So, I don't know. But yeah, and then obviously he decides to be Batman again, and Robin's like, what about a partner? And he's got this horrible red metallic and green suit, and
complete with
go
nipples.
Off and complete with nipples, yeah. And then it's like, should I go land butter? And he's like, how about both? It's like, can you drive that? Do you know how to drive either of those vehicles? Have you been trained? Like,
even the helicopters in this universe have steering wheels, so
yeah,
you can drive a car, you can drive anything apparently, because they always have steering wheels and pedals. Who knows?
We've just seen him attempting to drive the Batmobile and it bouncing along as he's going. So I'm not entirely confident in his ability to drive a boat, but apparently he can do it. And then obviously Batman gets in the Batwing, and then he makes a detour to fly through the sign just so Commissioner Gordon knows he's on the case.
He shows his bat butt, gets into the Batwing, gives a bat thumbs up to Bat Commissioner
the
Gordon.
bat butt. I forgot about the bat butt. Yeah. And there's no way that they saw each other when they were doing that. It was pitch black. He's just like, is like that, and then Robin's just looking up like, is he? It's just, I could just imagine it, and it's just. And then obviously we get that whole battleship scene where he's the battling it out, and they're like, it's like, oh, you hit my battleship. I quite like that, yeah. And then at the end of that scene, we get to my favourite line in this whole film, which is of course, holy rusted metal, Batman. He's like, what? He's like, the ground, it's rusty and it's made of metal, it's rusty, it's full of holes. And he's like, oh. And it's just the best thing. Like,
I enjoyed that, to be honest. Watching that, I was like, yeah, alright,
absolutely amazing.
It's amazing because they're so desperately trying to make Robin cool, because he was never cool in the 60s. They really wanted to be cool. They give him his earring, they give him a cool haircut, they make him ride bikes, he steals the Batmobile so he can punch dude and kiss chicks, he's got a cool metal suit, but the lasting image of this Robin is holy rusted metal Batman. And then 10 minutes later he's kidnapped. You just fucked it all up.
Literally.
Like, you tried to make him cool and you just made him worse. The reason we have not had a live action Robin since then, and the only live action Robin we've had is in the TV, and he's so uncool that they made him say fuck Batman as his first impression to the world. Kind of in the same tone that you'd say like to your dad in an argument, you know?
Oh man, see, I remember my mum telling me a story, because mum said she went to watch this film in the cinema, and she said that when he said that, everyone cheered in the cinema. I don't know how, I mean, I hope that that's true, because I want to imagine everyone going, I fucking said it, man, he said it, he said the line. I want to imagine that's what happened. So I kind of want to just go back to the mid-90s just to watch this film in the cinema and see what people did. So, I don't know. But then, yeah, obviously,
that's what we use a time machine for.
Yeah, literally, I would.
I'm down, I'm coming.
So obviously Robin gets kidnapped. Chase has been kidnapped this whole time because, of course, she has damsel in distress.
Women.
Yeah, man. Women.
What are you going to do?
And, yeah, so he has to make this choice, and obviously he's Batman, so he can... he can do both or whatever, even though he makes himself blind. Does he make himself blind? And he's like, I'm blind as a bat. And then he just takes a hit with it and just into that glass thing. Because he says, doesn't he, I've got a riddle for you. And he's like, he says the riddle and the answer's blind as a bat, I don't know. But my issue with that is he throws this batarang at this massive glass thing and the whole facility collapses because of it.
Yeah.
Is it really that fragile, that one thing?
That's
like,
bad
what
architecture.
Like, literally, what if someone just accidentally had something in the hand and went and just flew it and it crashed and the whole thing just exploded? And then just to make it even better, as the thing's kind of going all into his head, his face is all like wobbled and stuff, he's just like, bummer. And he just says like, it's like, all right, okay.
Family friendly.
Literally, and then obviously we've got my second to last line. The uncomfortably close shot of Robin when Two-Face falls off that thing, because Batman just so happens to have a handful of coins in his pocket, just to go like that.
Batman commits murder there as well.
He does. He actually does.
He commits murder, and I think the movie is trying to like distance itself from it, because it's like, oh well, he threw the coins in the air. Anything could have happened. It's the same excuse Zack Snyder makes. I don't know if you've ever seen Zack Snyder defend Batman murdering people. You know in Batman vs Superman where he shoots that guy's gas canister and he explodes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Zack Snyder says something on the lines of like, well, all he wanted to do was stop the guy, and he knew that if the canister exploded, it would stop him. Yeah, by fucking killing him, that's murder.
He actually committed murder. Like, up until
but-
this point, this character he'd threatened someone, that's a crime, I guess. But you've just murdered him, that's an even worse crime. That's like a prison sentence. Like,
the worst, I think another bad thing is that if the deleted scenes were in this movie, this murder would have been part of Batman's arc. As it stands, it looks like it's trying to distance himself from it. But Tommy Lee Jones at the start of the movie is supposed to have a bit where he's like, "Oh, we're both the same, you and I. Well, you'd kill me," sort of thing. And then I get the impression that it was supposed to be like, and when Robin's like, "Oh, I'll kill him," and you're like, "No, you're not going to kill him." It's supposed to be Batman being like, "How close can I get to murder?"
yeah.
And he does it. He gets all 100% of the way to murder.
Just goes through, kills him straight away. And then it's just, and then there's that really weird bit where like his hand's in the water, and obviously his particular coin falls in his hand, because of course it does.
Yeah.
And then, do we then cut straight to Arkham Asylum? I can't remember what happens after that. And then she's in Arkham Asylum.
What I've got here is something Batman wins, and then the Arkham Asylum scene. So I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, she's like, "Who is Batman?" And then, but like she sounds so serious. So like the doctor, who has no context of who she is or what she's been through, is just hearing her being like really wanting to know who Batman is. She's like, "Edward, who is Batman?" He's just kind of over there like, fucking like, yeah, you'd want to know, wouldn't you? Fucking hell. And like, he just comes out and he's like, "I'm Batman." And it's like, what if he's just putting that on? Like, I get that he's crazy, but what if he's just taking the piss? What if he actually remembers that it's Bruce Wayne? Like, but yeah. And then, obviously, the film ends, and we get that glorious shot of them running dramatically in slow motion in front of the bat signal.
Love that.
So yeah, because it's Batman and Robin, and then
Baby.
and then we get some.
I mean, do you know what?
Man.
That scene in the cell as well, Jim Carrey in the cell, exactly the same energy as Jesse Eisenberg in the cell at the end of Batman vs.
Literally.
Superman.
Yeah,
Same
it actually
energy.
is. I mean, they are technically playing the same character, so you know. But yeah, so there you go, everyone. Batman forever.
Batman forever.
Amazing.
Honestly.
Okay,
Good
so we're going to go through, give final thoughts about the movies, and we're going to individually rank the movie out of a score out of 10, and then I'm going to use maths to get an overall score out of 100, and we'll see where it falls on our list of best to worst movies of all time. Amelia, start for us.
So, like I said, this isn't obviously the best Batman movie out there. Like I said at the beginning, I had no clue these were two separate films, so that just shows how good it is as a standalone film. I don't think people really remember this film, but like rewatching it, it's fun, it's a laugh, it's something to watch if you literally just want to not think about anything. So out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oof.
4.
Yeah.
Jacob?
So, I want to say this is the worst Batman movie, but the fact that they then made another one that was somehow worse than this, I don't know how they managed it, but they managed it. But this is the inconsistent Gotham scenes of it being, it's like neo-dystopia, but it's just some street with some buildings in it. Robin, all the suits just having nipples on them because Alfred designs them and seems to want to put nipples on them. What's that about? There's so many inconsistencies. The fact that I was reluctant to return to this film. I mean, I know we shat on Bad Boys last week, but dear God, sitting through this was was so much more of a chore. So I can't like reasonably give it any more than a 2 out of 10.
Whoa.
2. Joe, you picked the movie.
So this film, right? Obviously, like I said at the beginning, this is like my first kind of memory of Batman. More specifically, the scene, literally, it's not even got Batman in it, it's that scene where we meet Edward Nygma. That's the bit I remember the most. I remember like sitting in my living room with it playing on the video and it being really shitty quality, but I'm fucking loving it still. So for me, there's like a lot of nostalgia here. Like I watch it and I remember all the scenes and I'm knowing all the lines and I'm like, oh yes. As a Batman film, it's not good. It's not good at all. It's very of its time, I would say. I mean, I know of its time is only like, 20, nearly 30 years ago. 15 years ago, nearly? I don't know. Doesn't matter. No, doesn't matter. So, I get why they did it. The whole McDonald's with Batman Returns and the whole kind of... they needed it to be lighter. They took it way too light, made it way too child-friendly, cast possibly the wrong people, but not necessarily. It could have just been Joel Schumacher not knowing how to handle the actors. Dunno. It kind of feels like the person who wrote it had read like 3 comic books in his whole life. Which
and they weren't Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were like fucking Green
the
Arrow
Beano.
or something. Yeah,
Beano.
See, weirdly enough about this though, which I find quite interesting, I read somewhere once that Tim Burton wasn't actually so much of a Batman fan, but Joel Schumacher was.
Whoa.
Which makes me, I would love the opportunity to make a Batman film. Like, I would pour my heart and soul into that. So if he was a Batman fan, we're given this opportunity, why didn't he, like, take it and run, you know what I mean? Like, go mad with it. Well, I mean, he did kind of go mad with it, but not me. It's not a good film, but it's funny to watch. It's not as funny to watch as Batman and Robin because they knew that with that one they knew that it was going to be bad, so they just kind of embraced it. So I would give it, purely because of the nostalgia, like, I'd actually give it a 7, just because I love watching this film because of how bad it is, but also how much, like, yeah.
Do you know what?
7.
So I think I agree with you, Joe. I'm so conflicted because part of me, I mean, this show was never supposed to be serious in the first place, and I do think it's really bad to score, like, especially against a Hitchcock film, which we started with, to score something like this.
I actually think I've rated it higher than that.
There's many things you can call this product. A film is barely one of them. Its script is terrible. All the acting's laughably cheesy. None of the effects look good, practical or CGI. But, like, I loved it so much. I had a grin on my face from start to finish. I did not find this a drag, Jacob, honestly. You saying this was worse to get through than Bad Boys, I totally disagree. I would watch this movie. I would go downstairs and watch this movie again. I'm not even going to lie. I've got this thing where, even though I understand and respect the core basics of filmmaking, a film to me has to be one thing above all else, and that's entertaining. And whether it was unintentional or not, this movie was fucking so entertaining. It is one of the best pure comedy movies I have ever seen in my life. And yeah, I'm going to score it a 7 as well.
Ugh.
I'm going to score it a 7.
What?
We've just, like, shitted on the entire, like, Batman film community, and Jacob's just like, oh my god,
If
Batman.
this is a 7, you just remind me, what did you give Vertigo out of 10? A 4.
I think I
This
honestly
is a
gave it like a
7.
5 or something. Like,
I'm going to get murdered. So that gives us an overall score out of 100 of 50, which makes this, I guess, the most middling movie of all time.
Are you telling me Bad Boys beat this? What beat this film?
No. Bad Boys is still the worst movie of all time.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. So Vertigo is still the best movie. This is the middling movie.
Fine,
and Bad Boys is the worst.
Alright,
I'm not overly upset by that. That's okay.
Okay, so we come once again to the moment of the show where we find out what we're watching next week. And it is my turn. So we've had a lot of variety so far. Bad and fun, bad and bad. You know, masterpiece, but was divisive. I wanted for my pick to just give everyone a pure good time. Good filmmaking, fun things to analyze. But just make it as fun as I possibly can. I think you've probably all seen this movie before, and I hope you're excited to watch it again if you have. I am picking Baby Driver.
Oh, good choice. Good film.
Approved.
Good film.
Okay.
Approved.
Yeah.
See,
I'm down.
I don't know why, Don't know why. There's no context at all. But when you said that you want to give us all like something, like a good time to watch, for some obscure reason, Scooby-Doo 2 popped in my head. No idea why. And not even like the whole film. Just like one scene where Scooby-Doo comes in dressed in like the big afro. And he's like MC Scoob, whatever, you know. I don't know why.
Out of all entertaining films, that's the one.
Yeah,
How
I
does
don't
your
know
brain
why that
work?
popped in.
Incredible.
God
Oh,
knows.
dear.
But
I mean,
yeah,
that's quality filmmaking.
It is.
I can't wait for Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed to become the best movie of all time on
I
this
hope so.
podcast.
I'm gonna do
Doing
it.
this
One of us
podcast,
gotta pick it.
will.
I'm gonna do it. I'd watch that again.
Amazing. Okay, join us next Sunday then for Baby Driver.
Bye.
Like and subscribe.
All that good stuff. We said the thing.
Smash that motherfucking like button!
Boom.